Hello everyone, Scott Bell coming to you live from San Francisco, California. It is February 1st, 2015. You know, there's some big game going on today, but I figured it'd be way cooler to talk about sales. Now, the question for you today is, what if your presentation is predictable? What if what you're doing is predictable to the people who you are meeting with? What if it's predictable? Now, here's the challenge. What I'm going to share with you is if your sales presentation is predictable, it's mostly boring. If your sales presentation is mostly predictable, it's mostly boring. Now, what that means is, you know, like sometimes a lot of industries will do the same exact canned presentation. And so you have company A, company B, company C, and if company A shows up and does one presentation and company B shows up and does the same presentation, and then company C shows up and does the same exact presentation, what are the chances of you getting that job? What are the chances? Okay, what are those people going to judge the presentation on? How are they going to decide what they're going to do? How are they going to pick their vendor, their company for their widget, their gadget, their product, their service, whatever they have to offer? Now, here's the thing, a presentation has to vary up some information so that it keeps the process interesting. Now, a lot of times, you know, there's a word for this and it could be novelty. So your presentation really doesn't have to have some novelty to it. And then not only that is, what happens is, let's say if your presentation starts right here at 8 o'clock in the morning and you go all the way to 9:30, or if it starts at 5 and ends at 6, whatever time, pick your time. And it's just sales, 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 sales. It's gonna create some challenges because that person who is sitting there watching you and having to listen is gonna be like, all right, you know what, we've talked so much about sales, let's talk about something else now. So your sales presentation has to have some sales here and then a little bit of change, and then some sales here and then a little bit of change. Now, intrigue or surprise are two ways that you could get somebody involved that they're gonna have to pay attention to see what's going on. Intrigue and surprise. So what's something that you could put into your process that's going to surprise people? What's something that's going to build some intrigue? What's something you could do for a demonstration that nobody else is doing? So think in the terms of, I'm going to do something that nobody else is doing. I'm going to do something that nobody else shares. I'm going to do something that nobody else shows. But here's the thing, whatever you're doing has to be different and unique enough that it's going to grab attention from the person who's paying attention to you and watching your presentation, watching your show, whatever is going on. Now with this, there should be a certain element of questions asked. There should be a certain element of getting up and moving around if possible. So here's the thing, if your presentation is mostly predictable, it's mostly boring. And that's not a good thing, because what that does is that forces the buyer to have to look at, all right, is the product good? Yeah, the product's good, but I would rather go with this guy based upon personality or gut instinct. Now, one of the things that's really tough about sales is it's really tough to figure out what criteria is in the gut, right? Because, like, you know, you get gut feeling about people sometimes, and you're like, ah, you know what, I like them, I think I'm gonna go with them. And it has nothing to do with the presentation. Okay? If your presentation is mostly predictable, it's mostly boring. Now, if you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story, that'd be fantastic. To the right or to the left, there's a subscribe button. Subscribe. And then you can send this out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Scott Bell. Only Scott Bell with a silver medal. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.